Hello, my name is Anton Westy. I'm from Texas. Our professor is also from Texas. It's very helpful to have a professor that understands where I'm coming from and where I'm going to be counseling. Informed consent is very much on giving the power to the client and letting them understand what their rights are and what they can demand or refuse to do in counseling. That's very important for them to understand the goals of the treatment and where they want to be after treatment. ACA guidelines and Texas guidelines are very close. It runs over fees and arrangement payments, which is stated in this informed consent. Counseling purpose, goals, and techniques is also clearly stated at length in this informed consent. Any restrictions placed on the licensing by the council is not really brought up until the end, and not at a length that I think would be acceptable. I think limits on confidentiality, intents for counseling, and supervision is all clearly stated. How the information is stored and if the appointments are recorded is also brought up in the informed consent. The article I brought into that I did research on was Are Good Intentions Good Enough? Informed Consent Without Trained Interpreters by Linda M. Hunt, PhD, and Catherine B. DuVogel, MA, and it was written in 2007, but it still applies, still being 13 years old, that it's really saying that if the client isn't a primary English speaker, that you need to have a trained interpreter, either have a second language written out or go through the informed consent with the client, so just to make sure that the client completely understands what they're signing to and what their rights are. This directly applies to me because I work as a mentor for adults with disabilities, and I have a student that his primary language is Spanish, and he speaks a little bit of English, but it's broken and it's difficult to understand. If I had worked with him as a counselor, I would definitely want an interpreter to go through and make sure he knows his rights as a client and what the process we're going to go through and what's the point of the program if he doesn't know what's going on. But working as a mentor, he definitely understands what I'm trying to get across, even though we have that language barrier. Thank you, and I'll see you in the future.